Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It is time once more for that weekly painting progress. And yeah, I actually got some stuff painted. And probably not all that well, but that's a given with my painting quality. But that's neither here nor there. This is a one-page rules robot overlords. I want to say overseer. That doesn't sound right. He is super glossy still, and he has just been blasted to death with a matte sealer. He has been on my table, whoo boy, probably since before the pandemic. I kid you not. He's been sitting there a while. He has multiple coats of paint, which has probably ruined his level of detail, and I just keep painting over and over it, and that seems to be an ongoing trend with quite a few of the models that I have on my table. I was going to say on video, but not really. He turned out okay. Can I do better? Absolutely. I was just kind of pumped because I saw OPR is doing like another campaign. Previously, they did the fantasy one. This is the sci-fi one. With some new hero models, and then, you have access to all that. So rather than just put a link to one-page rules, which I'll probably put anyways, and if you're curious, I have links to everything that we show in these videos, which I do in every one of these videos. So if you're ever curious, you always know where to find it. But, yeah, I've been a long-time supporter of OPR, and I've got such a backlog. And I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to paint my way through it. So that's why he got finally finished. Because he's been sitting there, and it's been driving me nuts. And along with this compatriot of his, and I just absolutely had no idea what to do with him. This is one of the, the alien hives? Is that what they were called? This guy, I don't know what I put on him, but he was so shiny. He's still shiny, and I really tried to mute it down. I guess the front is a little bit better, but I just didn't know what to do with him. I still don't. He's just purple, and it's kind of boring. And I would love to do something with it. If you have any suggestions, please send them my way. Because I really like the design of a lot of the OPR alien guys like this. They're just, kind of insect-like ones. But I have never been satisfied. And much like that robot overlord, I've never been able to figure out what to do with them in terms of colors. I wanted something purpley. Not purple, but purpley. Like, that's its own separate entity. But anyways, like I said, if you have suggestions, hit me up somewhere with them. I would love to know. We'll see what we can do. Because I got plenty more where that guy came from. Not on the table so much. In my garage. My garage, oh boy. It's been wonderful finding these things as I've been trying to clear stuff out and reorganize in there. But that's like a topic for a whole nother time. Alright, what else we got? I have no idea. I don't think I've shown this guy off. This is another of the Scorpion void frames from Piper Makes. And as I've said many, many times on this channel, Piper absolutely deserves every bit of attention on their models because she just rocks them. I mean, if you like just tinkering and fiddling around with a bajillion different parts just to see what you can come up with, you cannot go wrong with any of the various either fishy or void frame themed models of hers. They're just a lot of fun. So I think I showed off one with a greatsword before. I don't even know what I've painted and what I've shown. It's all just a weird blur. So if you've seen this guy, apologies, but I'm about 89% sure that I haven't yet. He got almost finished up prior to heading to Japan. They're a little bit bigger than the fishy mechs. Just for the basic infantry. Obviously, this guy's on a 25mm. This is probably a 30 or 32mm. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to measure it, and I'm not going to. But like I said, this is like the kind of close combat frame, and there's just a ton of different options available for them. I also painted another. I want to say this is like, I guess, the Leader Prime version, but you don't even have to make it that way. They've got these scorpion tails and giant claws. If you really wanted to go all in on just a whole unit of nothing but scorpion clawed tailed mechs that are flying around with blade feet, that is something that you can do. And this model was such a mess when I painted it, and I think I broke off a finger on the right hand there. I don't know where it went. I never remember touching it. You see, you got like a half digit there. But I was trying ever so desperately to fix things up. Like I've mentioned before, I like had to take my glasses off painting these things because I'm really that picky about how correctly painted everything is up close. And as you can see, I think I got most everything taken care of. This is on almost a 5x zoom, so I'm like, if it can withstand that kind of scrutiny, I think I'm okay. I probably don't need to go to that degree, but I just can't help myself sometimes. Just a fun model. I mean, everybody in this whole squad that I've made so far is this crazy, unique looking, and there's more where that came from. And oh, what do we have? There were like the ones with the scythes, I guess, which are, I mean, I guess the idea is that they're supposed to be Eldar, aspect warrior stand-ins, but they're really kind of their own thing, and they don't have to be that if you don't want to use them for that. But the Dark Reapers, the ones with like the missile launcher scythe guy, those I know are out there. I haven't even started working on those yet. And then the flame ones are coming. But they're just really, I mean, unique, interestingly designed, very elegant looking. I mean, not to say that the fishy frames aren't any different in that regard. There's just so much variety if you're into that kind of stuff, which I most certainly am. I've also mentioned that Piper is one of my holy or unholy, depending on whether or not you're looking at the bills that have come with the resin costs of this stuff, but they're definitely one of the trinity of modelers that I absolutely, when it comes to just customizing modular stuff, they're at the top of the game. Them, Adam and Arsenal, and then finally Crimson Steel Mechworks. So this was one of the freebies. This is a Demeter class power armor, and I've shown off plenty of stuff before, but again, I forget how many parts. I think just the basic one was like 200 something, just crazy amount. So I just did a really boring, really simple paint job. I wanted to go with like a Dorvac type color job. I had an old Dorvac kit, or one of us in our family had an old Dorvac kit with a red head and this kind of light tan body. I think that's what I was channeling with that. But again, there's just a bajillion different poses, weapons, options, loadouts, various head types, armor types. And you can see the Demeter is a lot boxier than the name escapes me now. The Nyx. The Nyx was the first of the power armor suits that Crimson Steel Mechworks came up with. And again, super modular, lots of options and interesting things. That's just one I have handy. I want to say this was like a custom freebie one. Lots of cool stuff there. But actually, most of that stuff I was wrapping up last week. That's not what I spent a lot of time with. I mentioned before that I have been trying to fight my way through some of the big Dragon Trappers Lodge stuff. I have videos on their stuff all the time because I absolutely love that they just go wild with these themes. And their current army, the Acolytes of the Primordials, is absolutely firing on all cylinders for me personally. And then I know August is going to have even crazier stuff, and I absolutely will be there for that. But this model, which you can barely see, I'm really happy the eyes came out the way they did. This was from their, what was it, Gods of the Lost Continent, and I guess I need to fix his tongue there, and we'll get a better look at him here in a sec. So this was the God of Death, I believe. And so some of the Gods of the Lost Continent actually got re-released with the whole Primordials and their Acolytes. But this guy was the most obnoxious model I have painted in some time. Just because, for the most part, everything, there weren't that many pieces. I want to say it was like the arms and the tail and the head. The body already had all that, and in my infinite wisdom, glued everything together. But I got it done. And as is often the case with models like these, I tend to want to make sure that everything gets filled in. So that means like going in and making sure all of the underside of everything is, you know, the right color for the most part. Not that anybody is going to be bothering to do that unless they're playing me specifically, because they know at this point, having watched these videos, if you guys know me, yeah, and I know I have some friends that will absolutely be picking this stuff up to take a look at. Anyway, I wanted to get him done because I mentioned before when I put a video up on the Acolyte stuff, you know, they have these primordials which are just as big. This is a 100mm base. I'm like about, it might be bigger, I don't even know. But they're just big clunking models. So, just to give you a good indicator, are there bigger ones out there? Sure. Have I painted bigger ones from Dragon Trapper's Lodge? You betcha. But, you know, it's just one of those kind of milestones. I'm happy I got it done. It was really in the way, and surprisingly, I only knocked it off the table once that I can recall. And okay, I knocked it off the table one time that did enough damage, and I'm not going to tell you where. But thankfully, it was a clean break, and I was able to get it fixed relatively painlessly, but it was still frustrating nonetheless. He took up a lot of space. He still does. But he's finished, which means I can go all in on the primordials now. So I will hopefully have a video on those this next week, and I'll probably have another one up in August once the third primordial comes out. There was a God of Life, which was like a sauropod with like a tree growing out of him. He came out in the same release originally, and I know he got a rerun with the primordial acolytes of the primordial, whatever way you want to say it. So I'm wondering if at some point we might see this guy again. So I'll be happy to bust him out. But yeah, the primordials are just about the same size as this dude. So happy I got a couple other things done. Happy I got my big old dinosaur done, and I am ready for even more dinosaur goodness. And like I said before, if you want to do any of these or hunt any of these models down yourself, we've got those links for you, and hopefully you guys can do a much more thorough and lovelier job painting them than me. So with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, and thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.